Hello my friends, it's Gabriel with the Last Huntsman Outdoors here. This is just going to be kind of a short little rant video, and what it's going to mostly kind of pertain to is something I've been noticing, and this has been probably in the past year, and it's just probably even a couple of years, but I feel like it's exponentially getting worse. And what it is really is toxicity, I think, in the knife genre, so to speak. I know a lot of people will say knife community. I kind of don't really care for that term, just because a community to me is something real and tangible. You know, me and other homesteaders and guys training and preparing and going to church and stuff, that's a community. People rambling on the internet, that's more of a genre to me. So that's just kind of first little thing. Guess I'll get a couple other little things out of the way. Be sure to check out Carrolls Customs and Armatus Carry. Carrolls Customs makes really awesome custom grips for a lot of awesome knives, and Armatus Carry makes amazing Kydex sheaths. I love them both, and I got a little promo code, LASTHUNTSMAN, all capital letters, all one word, and it works for both of those. So be sure to check those out. So something I've been seeing, like I said, is kind of a toxic internet whole shindig going on with the whole knife world, I guess. And I think there's several things going on. Quite frankly, I think you got some people that has based their entire media personality with trying to purposely stir division just for clickbaity type of videos. In case you guys haven't really noticed, but I don't really do very many clickbaity type of videos. Like every great once in a while I'll do something, but for the most part I'm just like, here's a knife, I'm going to test it out, take it or leave it. And that's just kind of how I do most of my videos. Here's the deal. I live out on a farm, I live out on a homestead, I work 2 jobs. YouTube is secondary to me. YouTube is a hobby for me. So I don't make YouTube like my life per se. It's, like I said, it's just a hobby, and that's it. Testing and using knives is a hobby. A lot of people get the impression that guys like me on YouTube or whoever just are making a bunch of money. You guys would probably laugh, but I honestly make between 100 and 120 bucks a month if I'm doing good on YouTube. And that's kind of an average. So, I could drop YouTube. I definitely put more time and money and effort into YouTube than what it's worth. So that's just kind of a little bit of where I'm at. And as far as like the toxicity stuff too, I'm seeing a lot of people just sit there and try to tear each other apart because one guy will say he likes a certain steel or have a slightly different opinion than what the specific media opinion is supposed to be. And it's like, people, do you not realize there's a few things. The knife world or knife genre is a very small part of YouTube. Like, it really honestly is. And so to just see people sitting there trying to make an entire channel on attacking every other knife channel or whatever, just seems kind of, I'll just say it, giga gay to me. But then the other thing about it too, and folks, you should really check out Jacob Petersons' latest video. I'll even try to put it in the description box, and I'll even tag him in this. But he kind of went into a decent little rant on the economy and how it's actually affecting a lot of knife world, and it's affecting everybody. I mean, I'll be honest, I'm working 2 jobs. I've never worked at 2 jobs before, or not consistently anyways, and I'm still not doing as good as I was even 5 years ago, making half the money. So everybody's feeling it. Even your knife makers and knife companies are feeling it. And so getting into these like stupid little arguments over, Magna Cut and blah, 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 and trying to destroy somebody else's livelihood just because they have a different opinion than you is really honestly kind of disgusting to me. Especially with everything that's going on. Like, I don't think a lot of people realize is that once the economy goes belly up, which it really honestly already is, we just haven't been told yet, essentially. Or the state-run media, or aka most effective devil in America, hasn't broadcasted it yet. But we're actually in a far worse position than even the Great Depression. You could just look at the numbers. So what I'm getting at is, why are we trying to just rip each other to shreds and tear each other apart in such a small genre that, while everything is falling apart, like in my opinion, and I have to give like Primitive Bear Knives, for example, a big kudos. All right, that guy is super nice, and even other knife makers coming to him, he helps them out. Even John with Heavy Set Tactical's been getting into making knives, and Alan with PBK has been walking them through a lot of stuff and been helping them out. Alan promotes other knife makers. I've seen him post other knife makers to his Instagram and social media stuff, like the Wizard Forge or whatever. And really, that's the type of knife genre I would like to see, not people sitting at desk and trying to willingly hope that they ruin somebody else's business, or that they go out of business, or things like that. Kind of, as I said, this whole knife thing for me is a hobby. I like doing it. But I am seeing just a really grotesque just toxicity with the entire knife genre in general. And, I'll be honest too. I've gotten pissed off at some people, and some people will specifically say things. And I used to get in just arguments on them and comment onto their comment and blah, 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 and get into... Anymore, I don't give a shit. Like, I'll just straight up say, like, if you're going to just try to say some outright lie or some giga gay stupid crap, I'm just going to delete your comment. Like, I don't care. And if you're going to keep doing it, I'll just block you from the channel. I have too much going on in my life to put any bit of energy into that kind of negativity. So that's where I'm at now. So I just won't deal with it. Now, kind of a side topic, I'm going to kind of interject this into the video, but I think a lot of the reason that we're seeing the toxicity in the knife genre too is just because I think there's several things. One, I think there's some people egging it on. Two, I think there's a lot of bots, not even really real people, that are trying to fuel an algorithm, and they're egging it on. And quite frankly, I think a lot of people, especially today, are extremely unfulfilled, and they are just vehemently looking for anybody and anyone to attack and blame all their problems on, essentially. And if they can do that in like a comment section, which I think is pretty much bottom feeder, then so be it. That's what they're going to do. But I think that's where we're seeing a lot of the toxicity. And there's probably other factors that I haven't really discussed, but that's just kind of what I'm thinking of. But I personally would like to see the knife world or knife genre or whatever you want to call it actually try to promote each other instead of, you know, trying to purposely harm each other. And sadly, I feel like there's a couple that has basically made their entire media presence about trying to tear everybody else down while promoting certain people. I'm just going to say this. If you have to tear somebody else down, your knife or your company or whatever it is ain't worth a shit at that point. That's my honest opinion. Let the actual function and use speak for itself. You know, and I've seen a lot of this stupidity even coming from like knife steels and the newest knife steel and stuff. You know, here's the thing. If somebody likes that good old crusty 80 CRV or wants that just time and tried and true AEBL or whatever, who gives a shit? Like, honestly, it's kind of like I did in my Magna Cut rant video. Most steels, even like this Bradford Guardian and Crewwear that I'm really liking, is going to outlast you if you take care of it. So people arguing over specific stats and numbers and stuff on a screen, it's honestly pretty stupid. So I guess this is just a quick little rant. Be sure to check out Jacob Petersons' video. I think he's spot on with that. I really do think that we're seeing some huge corrections in the economy, and I think it is actually going to affect the knife and gun and just a lot of the things that we're taking for granted now. I think it's going to affect it because, you know, when people are barely able to put food on their table, which a lot of people are already at this state, but I think it's going to get even worse. Who's going to give a shit about, you know, if your knife is Magna Cut at 65 HRC or 62 HRC? Like, it's so stupid, honestly. Quite frankly, I find that guys that are more avid outdoorsmen and homesteaders and stuff like that don't really care about little specific details like that. Because, quite frankly, out in the woods and out in the real world, not just sitting at a desk cutting cardboard, you don't really notice that type of crap. So this is just my quick little rant. I'm just going to keep it at that. But folks, let's try to be nicer. And I'm even talking to myself because I've gotten pissed off at people before too. And be prepared both physically and spiritually. God bless and carry on.